everybody, and welcome back to another 52-week movie challenge. My voice is a little hoarse tonight or today, whatever you're gonna see it at, because I just got done doing other shows and stuff, and I've been doing shows left and right, so my voice is going crazy. So yeah, that's to look forward to. So this was week 21. And it is the Towering Inferno is what I decided to do because it was a film that has won Best Cinematography. So I picked that mainly because when I saw that it won Best Cinematography, I was like, really? Like, was it a movie that deserved Best Cinematography? And we'll get into that. So the year was 1974, was released in 1974. The year that it won was 1975. It was my date completed was May 24th, 22. My rating is 5 stars out of 5. Aspect ratio is 2.351. Running time was 2 hours and 44 minutes. Genre is action, drama, thriller. It was rated PG, even though I thought it was rated R. Probably these days it would be R. Starring Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, William Holden, Faye Dunaway, and Fred Astaire, O.J. Simpson, Robert Vaughn, just a lot of people. Directed by John Gillerman. Produced by Irwin Allen and written by Sterling Silliphant. Music by John Williams. The Oscars for Best Cinematography. The awards received were Oscar for Best Cinematography, Editing, and Original Song. Why did I choose this particular film? Because it's a film I was shocked had won Best Cinematographer. Have I ever seen this movie before? Some of it. I didn't watch all of it. Would you recommend this film, and why not? Hell yes, because it is a lot of fun. And it's amazing. Which character were you most able to identify with, connect with? Once again, I had to say none. Yeah, once again, just none. Best line or memorable quote? There's a few, but the one I was looking up the memorable quotes, and the one I really like there is like, "Are you here to take me on, or the fire? Were you surprised by the ending, and what would you do differently?" Yes, way more deaths there than I was expecting, and no, I wouldn't do anything different. Do you feel the cinematography in the film enhanced it or carried it? In what ways? Oh my God, the cinematography was amazing. It definitely carried it. It enhanced it. It did all of it. It was beautifully shot. The setups were amazing. Just almost flawless cinematography. And we'll get into that. But anything else I'd like to add? Nope. Go watch it. So, okay. So, let's get into this. So, this is a movie, like I said, I had never fully watched. I've been excited about seeing it at some point, but I just never got around to watching it. And I own it. I own it on it's a nice, beautiful Blu-ray. And then whoa. There you go. Towering Inferno. And it's got some great special features that I did not dig into, but I do want to. There's a featurette about the writer, and I kind of want to know more about Sterling Silliphant. So he did a great job, but he also did the Poseidon Adventure. So I did some research on the Towering Inferno and found out that apparently there was a bidding war on the book the novel that the original, like the tower, I think what it was called, and Warner Brothers and Fox had a battle, and then one of them, I think it was Fox who won, and then, like, Warner Brothers got another script that was very similar, so they just collaborated together and decided to work together and make one movie and called it the Towering Inferno, because like the first one was called The Tower, first book, and then the next one was called like the Glass Inferno or something, and so they just called it the Towering Inferno. So they basically put them together, made it into a movie. It had huge stars. Apparently, William Holden wanted to be billed first, but his star power was sort of fading, so he was billed third, right after Steve McQueen and Paul Newman. I think Paul Newman got first bill. He was the bigger star, and honestly, he was in it more, so he should have gotten billed first because he was sort of in it. He was the architect that basically created the building, the skyscraper, and the whole movie starts out, and it starts out really well done. So it starts out with this. You kind of get to meet all these different characters that like work or live inside this big huge fucking tower, and this huge tower. I mean, apparently there were like 100 and something, rooms and stuff, like whatever, like it was up and up and up and up, like levels. And like on room 80 something, there was a wire issue. And a lot of this was caused by this guy who was the son-in-law of the owner, who was told, I guess, to not listen to the architect and do, well, he wasn't told that, but he did it. He was sort of told to cut corners, and that was the corners he decided to cut. So things like sprinklers, he didn't let the sprinklers work. The sprinklers didn't work, which would have helped stop the fires. There was no fire alarm that I heard. There's no fire drills. Nobody knew that there were fires happening. So there were all these corners that were being cut, and all of a sudden there was huge fire. And as you can see, that it became a Towering Inferno. It was so well done. And I was wondering how's this going to end? You know, so it ends with water, like, which, I mean, they were trying, but they had like hoses. And when I was looking at the hoses that they had at the in the tower, they were just little hoses. I was like, that's not gonna stop that big ass fire. You need a fire truck with a big ass hose and stuff. And the people were trying to contain the fire, but the fire was going everywhere, and it became part like Poseidon Adventure, because the writer of it, Sterling Sullivan, he wrote the Poseidon Adventure, which I honestly thought was okay when I first saw it. So I need to rewatch it again, because my biggest problem was like halfway through the movie, it gets kind of boring. This movie did not have that at all, even where the scenes where I thought it would sort of be boring, including like the scenes with what's his name, Paul Newman's character and the kids, trying to get through, get through everything. I mean, it was just really well done. I liked Steve McQueen. I kind of wish there was more of him, honestly. And And here's what happens. So you have a huge cast. Like I just read some of the names. So Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, William Holden, Faye Dunaway, Fred Astaire, Susan Blakely, Richard Chamberlain, Jennifer Jones, O.J. Simpson, Robert Vaughn, and Robert Wagner. All of them have a pretty good amount of screen time because it's 2 hours and 44 minutes. So you'd imagine that everybody will get at least some good amount of screen time. However, Steve McQueen gets kind of put in the back burner, no pun intended, because the rest of them are sort of, I mean, there's just so many people that they have to concentrate on. There is a great scene between William Holden and Steve McQueen where he's basically Steve McQueen's telling him, you need to get these guys downstairs. Party's over. I mean, there's a fire. Well, it becomes kind of like Jaws. Kind of felt like it was like Jaws. Now, Jaws was done after Towering Inferno, so maybe they stole some ideas from Towering Inferno, but sort of makes sense. I don't know if some of that stuff was in Peter Benchley's Jaws, so maybe it was before then, but whatever. There's a mayor type, which is William Holden's character is the owner of the place, and he does not want the mayor, the senators, all the people to stop having fun and partying. And so all of a sudden there's this fire down below, and the fire. Sorry, it is like almost it's 12:30. So but so there's a fire down below, and they're trying to say, oh, well, the fire's not going to get us, so we'll be all right up here. Well, no, the fire's going up, like there's no, like, and on top of that, if there's a fire, you get the fuck out. I'm sorry. Every place I've ever been in, I don't know how this was in the 70s, but every place I've ever been in my life, if people say there's fire, you run the fuck out. You leave. You go down. There's usually a fire alarm, and people are saying, go, go, go. Like you are, I've been in situations where there were fire alarms called off, usually because somebody's smoking in a hotel room and they shouldn't be doing that. And so the smoke alarms go off and everybody has to get out and everything. And I haven't actually been in a place where there's been I don't think I've been in a place where there's been a real fire that could have done this, but if I hear fire, it's like if I hear shark, I run my ass out of the water. If I hear fire, I run my ass out of the building. So that was another thing I really just did not care for, was like the guy saying that stuff, but like he has to, because they have to keep those people there for a while, and then there has to be panic. There's some really cool scenes. I did not know there was going to be like a helicopter that kind of swung or no, not the helicopter, but it was something that kind of swung they swung a chair that the people are on, and I was like, oh my god, that's terrifying. And then at the end, everybody starts jumping on it and of course dying. And this dude's like kicking people off. And I'm like, oh my god, you're literally killing people. Like that guy was the worst. That was the son-in-law who like just did not give a crap about like basically kill people. There was a great line in the movie. I'm trying to look it up real quick. Where what do we call it when you kill people? You're a killer. So basically that guy, calling that guy killer. He's a murderer because he was allowing this to happen. And you should know when people are cutting your corners and what corners they're cutting if they do that. Like don't just trust people with your money like that. So I guess that guy had a lot to feel about at the end, about his life and how he wants to handle things. And then there's a line at the end where Steve McQueen talks to Paul Newman and says, the problem is you guys build things up after like 7 stories, and you keep going. and then this stuff like this will happen, you know, until you get somebody who, uh, somebody like me who actually knows how to do it. Or you ask, and he was like, "Well, I'm asking," and he said, "You know where to find me." So sort of like, I think it was the movie's message was saying that if we're gonna build things that are really high, there better be certain things in there that get taken care of, so that things like this don't happen. So it's sort of a cautionary tale in a way. So I dug that a lot, and I don't know. All in all, I thought it was a great movie. As I said, 5 stars. I barely give any of these movies 5 stars, but I really fucking loved it. I thought the movie was a lot of fun. There was uh, there was moments where it would normally maybe bore me, but what I really liked was the characters and stuck inside the characters. Like I cared about a lot of these people. I wanted them to survive, except for that asshole. Like I wanted him gone. And I think the thing broke and he died. And that didn't, like when you do stuff and you just don't care about anybody but yourself, or you think you're doing something, a great deed by cutting corners. I mean, that was what this movie was about. Was like, well, the number one thing you don't want to cut corners on is safety for other people. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I was very shocked that the cinematography had some amazing scenes. Like there was a scene where the as I said, like it won best song, and this woman's singing, and it's this sort of like sweet song about like being in love and everything. And it felt so odd because we already seen that there was the potential fire happening at that time. So it was sort of like the calm before the storm. And there's like this sweeping scene where they're like going over this stuff, and they're going, you kind of see through different stuff, and like different, you're just following, like it's almost like a POV thing of like following this thing. And it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just wonderful. The cinematography was amazing. I was even from the very beginning where you see like this helicopter flying, you're just like enthralled and like, oh my god, what is this? What is going on? Like, who are these people? And that, I think, was one of my favorite parts. Is just like getting to know everybody. You got to know everybody. You got to know Faye Dunaway. You got to know, you know, every character pretty well. And there was a lot of characters. And sometimes you got to meet characters that you didn't really get to know, but you still rooted for them. Like there was this older couple. Um, I forgot, was it Robert Wagner or something? But there was this older couple, and they were in the they were in the like in a room, and they didn't know that all this stuff was happening. He was like, "Did you light up a cigarette in here?" And he's like, "That's not the smell of cigarette smoke. What is that?" And they look out, and it's fire. And they're like, "Oh shit." And so the guy gets the bright idea. He said, "I used to be the fastest like track runner or something. I could run blah blah blah." And so he runs, and like he runs right into the flames, man. And I was like, dude, this is, what I would have done is I would have ran and saw like I'm running into the fire. I'm like, nope, and turned back around. And then ran, uh, she ran, and then she tried to get out. The fire was coming for her. And so she broke the window, and then as she broke the window, the wind from that thing just sucked the fire right on her, and she fell out of the fucking uh the tower with like fire on her. And I was like, oh my god, that is a terrible way to die. Like you're dying with like fire on you at that particular moment anyway, and you're falling to your death. Like that stuff was just so brutal. It's a great movie. Like I adore this movie. I got this. or I got this movie, I got this Blu-ray when um I was looking for a bunch of disaster movies. So I got like the Poseidon Adventure, I got this, I got Earthquake and Roller Coaster all at the same time. And because I think at one point I was trying to do a podcast about disaster movies or something, and I might do something similar to that. Because there's a lot of them. So I was like buying them left and right so I could watch them and then review them and then do a thing, but I never did. So I might, like I said, I might still do that because that's they're not as talked about anymore. The Towering Inferno, especially, like I don't really hear anybody mention it. There's a movie called Skyscraper, and I think with starring The Rock, and I think that was pretty much a Towering Inferno remake or sort of like knockoff, kind of thing, like years later, homage, if you will, So, anywho, that's it. If you've never seen the Towering Inferno, I spoiled a lot of stuff. Sorry, but go check it out because it's a lot of fun and it's really. I was shocked at how it was. I loved it. I thought it had so many great scenes. I can't even get into all the great scenes. So there you go. It's 2 hours and 44 minutes. There's a lot of great scenes in that. So week 22, I'm gonna have to be doing a musical. So all right. I think I've got a couple in mind. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you can do almost anything as a musical, anything that has like a bunch of music in it. But I'm gonna pick a musical, probably something Roger and Hammerstein or whatnot. So get ready for that. That should be fun. And aside from that, I think that's it. I think that's what's going on right now in my crazy, crazy world. But I'm happy. Things are good. And check us out next week, or check me out next week for a musical. So thank you. All right. Bye.